Hi everybody and welcome to the live stream. So we're going to look at a general look at the gas fees and just how that's impacting staking costs and possible solutions. So we're going to have a little chat about that. We'll probably maybe up to an hour. So let's have a look. Alex K, gas fees so bad? Yeah, so they're really rocketed. We're going to have a check out a lot of the different reasons for that and some of the solutions that Axion team has been looking at that we are aware of. So we'll get straight in. Alex is on the chat. He's our moderator. So I think welcome Alex, and he's already got some good comments there, fitting with the topic. So we're going to check that out. I'm just going to post this link on Discord, so just give me a second to do that, and we'll build up a bit more of an audience as we get into this topic, which is a very topical. I had so many comments on this that I thought it was a good one to have a chat through. So we'll just post that on Discord and let everyone know that it's on now. So here we go, and I'll give that a few likes as we go. I hope you like the light bulb guy. Yeah, let's give that a few more welcomes. Put a couple of those on, and let's get straight into it. So I'm going to jump back to the gas fees, and yeah, if you're in the chat, let yourself be known in the chat. We love hearing your comments. So we'll get into that now. Hopefully you've seen, did a staking calculator yesterday. I put a note in the description about the gas fees. Obviously, you know, the lower the gas fees, the better. Here is the gas fee chart. So we're going to get straight into it. We've got quite a few charts and explanations to look at. So hopefully this is quite an informative session. Obviously, if you've got any insights, let us know in the chat. This is a community-run Axion, and we love to hear your opinions and any insights that we may not have made comments about. So let's get straight into it. So as you can see here, we've got the chart for the last week. Now we were lucky for a week that we actually, I call it lucky, but it was actually quite high, that we had Gwei at around 50. And then it was like that, bouncing up. So in the weekends and on Wednesdays, we were pretty much guaranteed to get 48 Gwei, 46 Gwei, 50 Gwei, which was a lot more reasonable in terms of the staking and unstaking, even transferring. So we're going to have a look at some of those. We're going to have a look at these charts. We're going to have a look at what the costs are live. We're going to have a look at some of the definitions and some of the explanations, and also some of the solutions that are potentially on the horizon for Axion. So here we are, folks. We've got the gas fee going up. This is in the last week. We've had 212 Gwei. Obviously, it can go higher than this. This is just the instantaneous one. I think on the day we actually ended up 237 Gwei. When was that? That was just on the 3rd on Wednesday. What we got here? We've got just had a spike, 200, almost not quite getting the high there. 234 Gwei. I mean, it's super high. We used to consider 30 Gwei high, then 50 Gwei high. So now we're way higher than that. And then we've had these spikes. Look at these spikes. I mean, this is what happens on the network. So we're 124 Gwei, so we are right up there at the moment. So this area right to our right here, that is not a great it's not a great time to stake or unstake. So pretty much most of us just got our stakes. So if we've got matured stakes, that's really where some of the frustration comes in, as well as if you're wanting to make a stake to make the big return. Obviously you can see the staking calculator video I did yesterday. Or if you're wanting to unstake because you've got a whole ton of stakes maturing, particularly if you've got shorter stakes, then there are massive gas fees at the moment. So my strategy at the moment is just to sit there. You've got two weeks reprieve. We'll see whether the team does anything on that particular limit, because they now have the second layer and they can actually change a lot of features. So we'll see whether that's one of their solutions that comes up. But at the moment, 189 Gwei, you're not going to do anything. You're looking at probably you're probably looking, oh, well, that's another topic. I'll just move, I won't jump to that one. But this is where you're at the moment. So I'm just sitting there, not doing anything at this thing. The closest I would probably start to look at something is if the Gwei come down to 50. That's probably as high as I'm keen. And so I've got a 2-week reprieve and so forth. So I do have a lot of little stakes. So they they are basically just going to, they're uneconomic, so I just let them slowly whittle away. But I have a couple of stakes that I certainly want to take out and then group together and restake. So I'm waiting for the Gwei to come down to do that. So I'm waiting for around about this 50, which is still high, but that's where we're at, folks. So let's have a look, and I'll try and read the comments as I go. Alex K says, I've had transactions sitting on 64 Gwei for 3 days now, just for your information. Wow, okay. So, and they're still live, Alex. So you've done the transactions and they're still live, sitting on the Ethereum blockchain, being processed. Is that what you're saying? Because that's a long time. Normally they fall over in less than 24 hours, I thought. But occasionally you do get some that just string along for a couple of days. Maybe that's. I haven't had one of those for a long time. So here, so in this chart here, you can see the gas price per day. So it's over the last week. You've got Saturday, obviously, Friday, Thursday. So just a corresponding day. And we can still see that the weekend, Sunday, Saturday are still the best. Wednesday, the previous week was very good, but that's not so good this week either. So that may be corresponding to price and so forth. So that's where that is. So this is a great site. I'm going to put the link to the site in the chat. So you can save this to your favorites, and you can check this at any time that you wanted to do staking or unstaking, or even doing buying or selling on Uniswap, or even doing a basic transfer. So I looked at a basic transfer earlier, so we're going to get into a few of those things in the next topic. So let's quickly go, what is Ethereum gas, just for the newbies, so bear with me if you're well familiar with this. So gas is used to pay transactions on the Ethereum blockchain. The amount of gas required for each transaction depends on the complexity of the transaction, and that's a very big key. So on Ethereum, they have basic transfers, and then you have smart contracts. So those smart contracts can be more complex. They can also be written well and not written so well, and that affects the costs as well. There's a number of other factors. So that certainly impacts staking and even Uniswap buys and sells. So a simple transfer may use as much as 21,000 gas, whilst the more complex transaction, for instance, those used in decentralized finance, or DeFi as it's known, could use in excess of 1 million gas. So each unit of gas has a price, simply referred to as the gas price, okay? And gas prices are denoted in Gwei, and that's what when we use the term Gwei, that's what we're referring to. And so if we look at the chart at the top here, we've got the gas price in Gwei. So you can, if this is a bit fast for you, you can always go through this in your own time. With a Gwei price of 5, a 21,000 gas transaction would cost 25,000 gas times 5 Gwei. A price of 5 equals 105 Gwei. And that would be equivalent to 0.000105 ETH. So this is an example there. Obviously prices are pretty high at the moment. And so here's an explanation. Gas prices are dynamic. While the amount of gas required for any given transaction remains constant, the gas price is dynamic. And that's what we're seeing, folks. And you can see that right at the top here, up and down. This is super volatile and super dynamic. Why is this happening? We're going to get into a bit of that in the next section. So users set the gas price when sending a transaction. That's often done automatically by the wallet software. So obviously in a Uniswap we have a notification. We're going to look at that shortly. Transactions are sent to the meme pool. Okay, so transactions are sent to the meme pool for Ethereum miners to include in the next block. So this is Ethereum 1.0 with this proof of work, or which uses miners to confirm the blocks and the transactions in them, and they have to solve calculations to do that. And but Ethereum 2.0, which I'm going to do a separate video on, is going to move to a hybrid proof of stake. It may get fully to proof of stake, but that's going to jump the transactions amounts. So at the moment, Ethereum we're going to look at that in the next chart, but Ethereum can do about 25-30 transactions per second maximum. It's probably doing 12-13. We're going to have a look at the chart for that. But Ethereum 2.0 is the promised land, but that solution's going to take potentially a year or more. We just don't know. We'll do an update on that video in the next one. But that's looking at a 100,000 transactions per second, and so that would drop the gas price and the transactions super fast. And they're going to need to do that because otherwise there's going to be a lot of second layer solutions on there and so forth. So we're going to look at that. So miners are rewarded with the transaction fees inside a block and are therefore motivated to prioritize transaction with the higher gas price. So that's why sometimes you might get beaten to the punches because people are paying higher gas prices. And this incentive structure leads to an auction style market where the users bid up the gas price as a means of ensure that their transaction is picked up by the miner and settled quickly. So we've obviously got people on the demand side bidding up the price. We've obviously got a lot more volume, and we're going to check that out too. And we've also got capacity constraints on the Ethereum per second. So there's some of the key drivers driving the price up. All things being equal, if the price of ETH increases, okay, and this is what we're seeing, we're going to look at that shortly, the average gas price decreases and vice versa. If the demand, so it's just all things being equal though, if the demand of settlement for Ethereum increases, so does the average gas price and vice versa. These two market conditions are what lead to the dynamic gas price that we see today. And then it goes finally into block gas limit. So you can read that. I'm not going to go through that section. But what we're going to do is jump straight to the Ethereum price here. We're on a trading view, so you can join me on this. And we'll just check in with the chat before we look at the Ethereum price. So you can follow me along with these links. Let's have a check it out. So Donkey Diapers, welcome Donkey Diapers. Always fast gas. Yeah, well, depending on what you're doing, definitely fast gas. If you're doing staking thing, you don't need to do fast gas. But if you're doing market transactions, you probably want to do fast gas. Otherwise, you'll lose it. You can also change your price limit as well. But yes, it was not dropped yet. Neil's staking journey, good to see you. It's been a while, Neil. Great to have you here, sirs or sirs. Hello, Neil, says Alex, and Alex K. The main issue with ETH is not able to handle a lot of on-chain trading, with which Uniswap does. Yep, and on centralized exchanges, trading is done off-chain. That's true. That's why interesting you bring it up, Alex. Just before we look at the price, PublishOX, the big crypto blogging site, which I use, it's got over about 235,000 users on it. They have just announced today that they are going to be moving their payments because their gas fees that they paid in the last week were bigger than the amounts that they were paying out to all the bloggers on the site. Can you believe it? So what they've done is they're going to move payments onto a centralized exchange. Ironic, but it's the best solution for their particular situation. So they're going to move the payments onto a centralized exchange, which means people have to sign up. It's got no KYC, but they're going to have to sign up, and therefore there'll be no fees. So that's the way that PublishOX is managing their issue. Not the best solution for Axion or any of the main applications on top of Ethereum. But that was an interesting move by PublishOX today, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Actually, we'll check that out while I'm here. So we're going to push that in and check that out because it's you can see here important. We have made changes to withdrawals. Let's see if that comes up. You can't quite see that maybe, and we'll just wait till it comes up. It's a bit of a couple of seconds delay before I see it on the live stream. So you can see at the top there, important. We have made big changes to withdrawals on Publish. This just come up today, so I just went on there, and you can see here that there's a thing. Gas fees are killers, but a solution is on the horizon. Before that, as a temporary measure, minimum withdrawals increased to $2. So previously they were 50 cents, and now they're $2. So it's not just Axion, but all the applications on Ethereum are having the same issue. So please, this is not an Axion issue per se. Obviously, Axion is a key user on the Ethereum, but all users on the Ethereum are having the same issue. So basically, that's what they said. The gas fees were more than the payout amount, which I said earlier. So what they're going to do is minimum withdrawal now at $2. It's only temporary, and they've got some different specs there. But then they said the long-term plan, weekly payouts, lower withdrawal threshold, and a 10% bonus on your first withdrawal to our SEX, which is a central exchange partner directly. They haven't announced that yet, but that's how they're going to solve their particular solution. So it just brings it back home that other people are having issues and they are dealing with it in their own way, the best solution that fits their situation. Neil says, yeah, fees been keeping me away for a while. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that Ethereum, the fees are really impacting trading, especially amongst the smaller traders and investors, and obviously staking as well being affected, and auctions are being affected by smaller players. Obviously the bigger players are willing to pay those because it's relative to the large amounts that they're putting in or out, but certainly impacts the army of smaller players. So LK, it sucks, but better than paying insane fees more than payments themselves. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, crazy, crazy. So anyway, I just want to put that out there that it's affecting all Axion. It'll be affecting anybody. All like it'll be affecting Hex, affecting Wise, affecting anything that's on the Ethereum blockchain. So, uh, but the Axion team is being proactive, and we're going to look at some of that in a second. Let's just jump to this price, pull this up. Look at this. These are Bitstamp, Coinbase, Kraken. But for next, look at the prices. Ethereum is absolutely rocketing, $1,676. It just keeps climbing. I'm going to take all those off because it got a bit crowded. But look at the price just soaring there, absolutely soaring. So that's really cool. Now, obviously, staying up here is another question, but it's definitely pushing higher. I said in a previous, about a couple of weeks ago, that I expected 1,800 to 2,500 if it could hold up here, and so far it has held, but just be cautious as we enter this area, since we might face resistance there. So that's pretty amazing. And let's quickly have a look at Bitcoin while we're there. So that's what's happened to the price. The price has rocketed, and so gas fees have followed suit. And Bitcoin is so what that's at the moment. I thought that'd pull up the chart, but doesn't seem to be populating. There we are. So Bitcoin has jumped up to 70, or just under 78,000. So that's looking really good. So that's what's happened to the price, and let's now have a look at some of the key metrics. We're going to look at some of the key Ethereum metrics, so we're going to get into that. So just to read the chat here, Alex K, Hex calculates interest on each day separately, so closing longer during stakes needs a lot more gas to process, driving up the cost at high gas and heat prices. Wow, okay, good to know. And Ethereum average transaction fee. So you can see the fees have just rocketed up here. So this is Ethereum. This is on the info charts. So I'm just going to post that for you in the chat. You can save all these to your favorites so that you can check them out at any time. So there's the info charts, ETH gas. So you can check that out as well. So what basically the average transaction fee you can see is just rocketing, and it's very volatile as well. So you can see average transaction fee US dollars. So we're up, or we've been up here $16 or so, but this includes a lot of different transactions in it. So it really is rocketing. And let's have a look at something else that I wanted to look at. So there's lots of different options you can check out. You can check out number of transactions in block per day. So we're going to look at that. That should auto update. And you can see that that's been climbing. That's the number of transactions in each block. So been rising as well. Just demand has been rising. Average, look at the mining difficulty. That's been rising as well. The average hash rate been rising as well. So you can see all the metrics are on the rise. Let me have a look. Median transaction fee. We looked at the average before, so you can see that's rocketing. And let's have a look. There's one that I haven't looked at, which I wanted to look at, and we'll have a look at the number of unique addresses. So it's been rising as well. So overboard, you can see that there's just increased demand, quite dramatic. Let's just jump to the chat a quick. Alex K, do you have a chart or table of all pending transaction fees in the meme pool? No, I haven't got that up. Would be great to see the curve. Neil, looking back at the cheap days of my staking ladder of 200 hex for a few pennies, yeah, those days are gone. Where we used to get a couple cents, that's gone, gone bigger. Alex K, yeah, last winter it was a couple pennies. Most now closing those stakes will be not fun. Yeah, it's almost like at the moment you would need to probably get up around even 500,000 even to maybe take half profit away at the moment for Axion stakes. So that's why just saying back to the strategy here um, with the gas here is that I'm just staying put and I've got 2 weeks reprieve. We'll see whether the team keeps looks at that option of 2 weeks penalties given that situation, but we'll find because all that penalties going back into the auction pools. So that's what's happening there. Now I'm just going to look on Uniswap. I've got a little bit of ETH in here. Just wanted to show you a transaction. So I just put in a mock amount. This is 0.01 ETH. If I could buy 67,000 Axion, I know that's not a lot, but that's what I put in there just to pick up the fees. And so I'm going to confirm that on the blockchain. If I do that, it's going to bring up the MetaMask notification. Oh, well, that's dramatic. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to show up. Let's have a look. That should show up. So this is actually doing a Uniswap thing. It's not even staking or unstaking. So let's check that out. Hopefully that's going to pull up on the screen. Can't see it yet. Yeah, so that doesn't pull up. So, but what it's saying is that it's the gas fee is $37. So that's not showing up on the screen, unfortunately, but that's because I opened up a separate window. But it's actually saying $37. Now, before I started the live stream, that was $80. So that's how crazy it was. And also, I was doing a just a transfer between accounts, and that was $10, which is probably lower now because those fees have dropped down. So if we refresh the Ethereum gas, we might actually see that drop that we had from the screen, and it may have dropped down from that amount. So well, it's pretty much still up there. So that's what it was going to charge me for it. Let me jump across array. So yeah, $37, but earlier it was $80 just for a Uniswap buy trade. So pretty crazy indeed. Now let me just swap that out. Let me just pull up this chart that Alex has got here. Not sure what's this. That didn't work at all. Let me just try this again. Just going back to chart with 150, 170 pending transactions in the meme pool, the backlog just kept building at higher and higher Gwei rates. Is that? Oh wow! So it makes it even worse, doesn't it, Alex? So let's have a look at this. This is pretty cool. Thanks for Alex for posting this. Is great. You can see it here. Was a dude sending $100 between accounts and was shocked at the $97 fee he used the default setting. Oh wow! Yeah, see, it's crazy stuff, right? So Ethereum network pending transaction chart series. So what have we got? Pending transaction counts, and we're, I guess, it's a cycling through the day. Oh, it's just an hour. It's like, is it an hour? It looks like a couple hours there. Not sure what the period time series is there. 31st of January to the 4th of February. That's a few days. That's pretty massive at 154. So I mean, I don't know if it has got a wider series on there. What's this drop down? No, that's pretty crazy. Transaction chart, network data. Let's have a look at that. So, I'll get a few other things on there. Issue being he'll never be back. Yeah, that's a big problem. That's a big problem now. So that's we're having a quicker look at that. So we so there's a lot of charts. So this is a good one. It's a good one to save. You want to save this on Etherscan. Ether daily price chart, total supply, market cap, average block size. We've looked at these on the other side that I had. Daily transaction chart. Average chart limit, unit count. So you got lots of good stuff here. Yeah, so that was a good one. Just save. I'll actually probably save that later. But we'll just jump down to the next topic. I think that when it reaches 170,000 it starts dropping some. Right, that's why it looks like that. It's got that zigzag. I was just trying to understand that zigzag in the chart. So if we just go back, yeah, so if it hits that 175 mark there, you're saying it just starts to drop back. It's funny. Yeah, they could have a bit more explanation on that one, but that's a good chart to see. And that's why your transaction's been stuck for several days, Alex, from the sounds of it. That's pretty harsh. Okay, so let's have a look at um, some of the solutions that are potentially there. So the team has talked about in Discord moving to Matic, or using Matic. So that I don't know how far into this they are. It may be one of a few solutions. There probably are a couple of these type of solutions around, Matic being probably the most notable. Basically, if you go to the site Matic Network, I'll just post it in the chat. So they've got here scalable instant blockchain transactions. Matic Network brings massive scale to Ethereum using an adapted version of Plasma with a proof of stake based side chains. And you can actually build on Matic. You click that. So here's a thing why Matic decentralized apps are making huge progress, but the current blockchain ecosystem is not prepared to scale as per demand. And we kind of showed that. So with all those charts that we just went through, that it really is struggling. I think I actually went, I'm not sure if I went through the one that I wanted to, but the issues of slow blockchain confirmations, which we've already is evident, and high gas fees, which we just looked at, need to be solved before we target mass adoption by mainstream users. And this comes back to Neil's point that the gas fees do impact, and that's why we end up having to have strategies rather than it just being close to zero cost. We've actually got to have strategies around about staking, unstaking, buying and selling, and transferring even. So you've got to think about the time of day, the time of week, those sort of things. So it's and other options that you might have. Most important, it needs to have awesome user experience. So this is what it's looking to solve. We aim to change that by simplifying the interaction between users and the decentralized world. We want to make interacting with the decentralized ecosystem so easy that anyone can do it, so without worrying about the complexity of the system. And that's very important. And that comes back to Neil's point as well. Let's just jump back to Alex has just got a couple of comments in the chat there. The other problem I'm seeing from novice users is that when their transaction gets stuck due to low fees, they submit a new one without cancelling or speeding up the old one. That's true. I've helped a few people out with that, Alex. You've got to open up advanced, get the nuance number, and then send a transaction to cancel them. So that's how you got to handle that. Alex K, which is useless because ETH requires sequential transactions and will not process the next one before the old one is processed or dropped. Well said. ERC20 converter on Cardano could be more interesting when it is ready. Heard Hex was looking into it. That's good insight, Neil. I heard that they were looking at some stuff like that too. I saw that Richard Hart was talking about the problem they were having with cancelling limit orders. I think that was on 1inch exchange. I think it was. I think that's where you do limit orders. So it was interesting him talking about that topic too. I know that's not completely related to this, but it's interesting they're looking at a few options because the market has changed and need to adapt with it. So Matic architecture solves the above problems by building a decentralized platform using an adaptive version of Plasma Network, provides a solution for faster and extremely low concentration transactions. So that's the solution, folks, that apparently they've been looking at. I'm not sure what a lot of the stuff, they should have a lot of standard programming stuff for linking in new clients, but then it just depends on how Axion would have to then locate staking and stuff like that. So I'm not sure the complexity of that, but hopefully we'll get something soon from the team with an update on that. I know that they are looking at us. Before we move on to the second option that they're looking at, that I'm aware of, we'll have a look and see what the rest of this is. So basically they use their own chains and so forth. So we're going to jump to the next tab. So this is on the developer side under Ethereum Matic, getting started, POS bridge. So you can follow this on the link that I gave you. It's just under developer here. So you actually just click on this button, build on Matic, and you'll get to this one. So Matic brings you a trustless two-way transaction channel between Matic and Ethereum, but introducing a cross-chain bridge with these two things. And with this, users can transfer tokens across Matic without incurring third-party risks and market liquidity limitations. So some pretty basic things that it does that would help solve some issues. So we'll see whether the team finds this useful, if they can reset up staking and things like that on there or transfer them. Be interesting. So where else we're here? Jump to this next one. They already have deposit and withdrawals on Matic, step-by-step guides, so they've already got quite a bit of stuff on here with their own wallets and things like that. So they've already got a proof of stake sitting there, and you've got Ethereum network transfers, so you can see that all happening here. And basically when they transfer back into the Ethereum blockchain, they destroy the equivalent tokens on the Matic blockchains. I think that's pretty much how that works. So here we are withdrawing funds from Matic back to Ethereum. So it's got lots of nice little updates there. So that's pretty much the do. So that's pretty much that on the Matic front. Now the other option was that they apparently on Monday, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but on Monday they were looking at paying for the fees. So one of the options is paying for fees to cover people who stake longer. And I believe on Monday they may be looking at, I'm not sure whether it's next Monday, they may be looking at covering some costs for people that stake for 5,555 days if they want to, if it matures and they want to restake that. So I think that may be with the option. Anyone can correct me in the chat if that's not the case, but I'm pretty sure that was. Alex K, there are multiple layer 2 or L2 solutions. Some are already working with ETH and Hex. The issue is that level layer 2 needs to support smart contracts for DEX trading and staking. So DEX is decentralized exchange trading and staking. Moving coins is not the main problem. Absolutely, and Hex is already supported by ZKS. Yep, they are, but you can't trade or stake there. Only move ETH to ETH or Hex for cheaper. Right. So some good comments there from Alex about this topic. And so yeah, the other one is that they're looking at maybe different strata of covering costs for long-term stakers. Don't know whether it's 365 days or longer as the second option. So there's something to do with the 5555 days High Five Club staking. But not everyone wants to stake that long, and so they may be covering costs. And then as Alex says, they're probably looking at other L2 solutions. I did see another one that was posted on Discord chat. I just can't recall what that one was. So yeah, there's a lot happening. Hopefully we'll get an update from the team. And so yeah, so we're just going back, leaving the topic a little bit, but the price 000255 just sitting around. We'll just have to wait and see what the news flows does. I don't believe it's having a overly impact on the price at the moment, but it is certainly probably affecting more the staking issues. Let me just pulling up the staking table. So just pulling it up now, and so there is I was just laughing at that little auction there, just as a side thing. We've got 1 ETH in there. I don't know who put that ETH in there, but it's kind of humorous, but not really, because the Uniswap price is 6.7 million per ETH. That's 1.1. So I'm not sure who enters those small auctions. It still baffles me. If anyone's got any insights on that, let me know. the mining is 112% at the moment. So that's gone down again from yesterday. So that's what I expected. I expect that to actually go down as low as 85%, but it hasn't gone there yet. So that's good. It's holding up there. It's a good APY for people to get into for the LP tokens. Remember that when you do LP tokens, there's two costs. There's one for actually providing the liquidity. You get LP tokens, and then you have to refresh this, and then you can put your LP tokens in here and deposit them. That's your second charge. There's 2 ETH fees. So at the moment, with the gas prices being so high, you may just want to time that, and you certainly want to have a couple of ETH at least going in there to make it worthwhile. You have to work that out on a spreadsheet. Oh, look at that. Oh, we're just rocketing up there. Look at that. Another super high gas prices, 259. So really rocketing at the moment. So hard to capture that transaction blocks per day. I actually had a second chart. Actually, I'm just trying to find my transactions per second. I'm just not sure where I've lost it. Maybe I accidentally misplaced that somewhere else. Maybe I had it open and I didn't open it up. Not sure if it's on this one either. Let me have a look on network data. Here we go. So daily transaction chart. It's a daily again. It's the best one we've got here. I actually had a second chart, but I'll try and look that up on another. So we've got that transactions per day, certainly rising, so that demand's really strong. So we'll just have to wait till it cools off a little bit, but obviously when it cools off a bit, we'll probably get the price, Ethereum price may pull back. Hopefully it just stays there and consolidates, but it has had quite the rally, so we just need to take that into mind. Neil says still must be that bot. Yeah, that bot. There must be a bot, Neil. I'm just thinking for that auction. Bad price plus high transaction fee to pull it out of the auction. Absolutely. I'm not sure who enters, but every small auction that's been in like a couple of million. I think there was one the other day, 200,000. Tons of ETH goes into it. It's like, are you crazy? So people have to be, I don't know. It must be a bot because maybe a bot that's not programmed very well. But please, if any people are watching, and tell your friends, do not enter the auction if it's a small auction. There are 4 auctions a week that have 250 million Axion go into them. They're the ones to enter, and you still need to, keep aware of the Uniswap price. And typically people snipe in the last half an hour if the price is still looking pretty good. So you do need to make an economic decision that favors you. Obviously there's a referral bonus as well, so you've got to pick those up. Alex, number of transactions per second is limited by size of the block, so more complex transactions take more space, I think. Ether's doing 12 transactions per second on average these days. Yeah, it is, and that's the chart that I was trying to bring up. I was going to pull it up on another screen and I'll post it over. So let me do that. Yeah, so once again, management-wise, I'm just holding off at the moment with these gas prices up here. So we'll wait and see where that heads. And let me just, I think this one might work. This is looking good. It's not the best visual, but it's got a big drop in it. I'm not sure whether that's just a faulty data line. So let me pull this up. So just pulling up these Ethereum charts. I like the simplicity of these charts, but I don't know what that line is, so just ignore that line. But you've got it here up at, this is transactions per second on Ethereum blockchain. So let me just drag that over to there. So this is transactions per on a blockchain per day, and this is the number of transactions per second. You can see the steep rise, just really rocketing up there. So demands is pushing this thing up. Limited capacity. Even the charts, oh, I don't know whether the chart's auto adjusted, but my understanding that it was 25 to 30 is the maximum, but it doesn't seem to get here. So it may be the maximum might be a theoretical maximum, but the actual's probably near the limits, not too far. So Alex may know a bit more about that, but here we're at 15. But as you say, 12 seems to be, probably an average in here. It looks like it's slightly rising to 13, but that's not huge. So that's since the beginning. Let's have a look at the last month. So here's the last month, 13. So you're looking at about 13, 14 transactions per day, but that's really pushing the limits of the network. And like I said, Vitaly is looking at a long-term solution on the Ethereum side of things. We're looking at solutions is that with ETH 2.0 scaling eventually I say, potentially up to 100,000 per second. But like I say, there's other blockchains around like Phantasma and stuff already doing 5,000 or more, maybe 10,000 in some of them per second. So there is a lot happening out there. So Ethereum really is trying to catch up in many ways. So like they've started the staking, obviously, which is the first stage in December, and we're going to have a big deeper dive into that in another video probably tomorrow, looking at ETH 2.0. So I'll gear up for that at that stage. Alex says if every transaction was simply ETH moving for 21,000 gas, then it could do over 20. Right, good point, per second. Let's just jump back to some of these charts. This is on Blockchair, by the way, so I'll post that. So you can check those out too. Hopefully I've posted all the links to these so you can have a good look in your own time if you want to spend more time looking at them. Ethereum price, circulation, inflation, transactions per block. You can see that's pretty spaghetti chart. So it's going to look a bit messy. We can look at it, but it's a little bit messy. You can see the other one's Bitcoin and the other competitors. Taking a little while to load. Moving ERC20 costs more gas, trading even more, staking even more. Yeah, that's a good step up in the fees. So staking's been, quite high. So to take that into account, try and time the gas. That's good to save the gas fees. You can also go onto Discord. If you're on Discord, we'll just jump on there quickly while I wait for that chart to load. You can actually type in !gas and post that in. It will actually give you a gas number, which pretty much equates to the other chart that we've been looking at. I just have to wait for it to materialize. So it's not materializing there, but it should do. It's going to show you something that's based on this one. Just wait for that to, for some reason it hasn't populated. No, not sure why that's happened. Don't think I typed it in correctly. Oh, well, I'll leave that one. You can normally type it in and it works. So where was I up to? Here, so here's the transactions per block. So it's quite a few there, 300. It does go up to 580 transactions per block. So interesting stuff. So some good charts on that site, so you can go check those out. Give a bit of explanation. Block size, average block size, average gas limit, average gas, median gas limit. Let's have a look at the average. So yeah, so Alex is this has got the gas limit even going. I don't know what the step up is exactly, but it's going up a bit. It looks like maybe a cumulative average gas limit 12.5 million. So Alex might have a better interpretation of that one. transaction count, total transaction count, transaction volume, average transaction amount, average US dollars or prices. Obviously we've got the average fee here, median fees, difficulty hash rate, number of new contracts, number of destroyed contracts, number of new contracts. Have a look at this number of new contracts. Looks pretty interesting. And block is once, Alex says block is once about 12 to 15 seconds, so you have to divide for per second numbers. Okay. So here's a number of new contracts. So they're in a couple of thousands. So that's got to be adding some weight as well to demand. So there's a lot of interesting charts here, and pretty much all of them are pointing to what we know, which is the pressure on the blockchain. But once again, the team is looking at doing some potentially some stuff like Matic, layer 2 stuff, as Alex pointed out, and stuff like that they actually can switch over staking rather than just transferring. But once they get on a blockchain that actually has pretty low to zero fees like proof of stake, then they might do that. They may also be in contact with Ethereum as well, just to get a better idea of when ETH 2.0 comes to market faster. So they might be doing that as well, trying to get an indication. So it bodes pretty well. So here's a couple of things. I might as well. First of all, my personal strategy is obviously just the fees is just too high at the moment, so I'm just sitting there with my stakes, so once they pull down, if they pull down about 50 or something, then I'll start looking at doing some unstakes on my bigger stakes. So when I say bigger stakes, I mean at least 300,000 Axion upwards. So that's a potential thing around this lower gas price, so I'll be waiting for that. When is it going to happen? I don't know. It's your guess as good as mine. Secondly, the team is looking at those solutions, Maddox and layer 2 solutions, and we just don't know where they are, and obviously Ethereum 2.0. So they'll probably be doing some discussion around that, and also they are also looking at doing some covering of fees for certain type of long stakers. So they'll probably have some criteria around that. So we may get some updates on a lot of these things. And a good thing is to push probably for an AMA or something like that on the chat. So we'll see whether we can get them to do that. And also, as Alex also pointed out, people, other communities like the Hex community and stuff are looking at solutions as well. And Alex raised a few that they had been working on or using, like SK and stuff like that. So there's a few things going on. And they should have something. They probably have been working on the gas fee for a little bit, so they probably should have something happening on in Discord soon about that. I'm just going back to the announcements on Discord. If you watch the Axion Today show, the last episode had a little update on stake extension event, so that was the one I was referring to, so you can check that out. I'll leave the Axion Today show link under the video description. So that's the one there. I think it's at the beginning, so you can check that out. I still haven't managed to get around to watching the whole show. I watched the end of it. I haven't seen the beginning of it yet, so I will get onto that myself. I said that yesterday, but I never got around to it yesterday. So that's just how it works, how it plays out. I think there was something else on here. Let me just shoot up here on the announcements. Almost there. Yeah, so this was the update. I read this the other day. It was the 15th of January, number 5 bonus. We are currently working on a solution that offers zero fee staking for stake of certain length and amount. Stake Axion for free, no time on deployment just yet. And then the next one obviously was that Axion today announcement, which had, I'm not sure if that covers the full. I think they're going to do a few things around that. So I think this might just be the opening salvo with the Axion Today show that I just posted. And the stake extension event. But it's hopefully we'll get something more on that on the Discord. I'll certainly raise some questions. Any thoughts on stake extensions yet? Yeah, nothing yet. Nothing that I know of, Alex. Like I said, I have to actually go back and watch the beginning of that video to find it myself. So we'll check that out. If I get some new updates, I'll rehash and get back on here. I could probably put it on the ETH 2.0 video that I'm looking to do tomorrow. So that'd be cool. So let's just jump back. Hopefully that's given a bit more perspective on a few issues, and we've had some good contributions there from Alex and Neil. So hopefully that has helped the community a bit. And let's just jump to the going here. Let's jump to the price here. Pull that up. Well, the other thing I wanted to say was the Axion dashboard from Axion today is brilliant. Let me just tip on this. So if you haven't got the Axion dashboard, check it out because it is stellar. It's version 1, and the version 1 is like epic. So you can join that. The other thing is I just got approved for channel memberships, so I'll be doing that with badges and emojis and other benefits. So looking to release that either tomorrow or the next day. I've just got a few more things to do, even though it's been approved. I've got a bit of artwork to do and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be fun, and I hope you guys look forward to that. Now, I am posting a lot of videos on, I've got Axion School in the folder, so you might see the Axion School folder. That's personal wealth. So I'm trying to broaden out the audience for the Axion Today token channel to build up the audience from other communities and not necessarily purely crypto. So we'll be focused, you'll probably see quite a few videos posted on financial topics like saving, budgeting, investments, all the things that are sort of around Axion's periphery to bring in a bigger community, because the number one feature that we really want to do, and obviously Axion marketing and product development in the next month or two is really going to hit that, is the number of wallets. So that's going to be very important for lifting and stabilizing the price over the couple of the next 3 to 6 months. So let me just get out of there. So that's going to be really important. This number here, where is it? I say this every day and then I've forgotten, I lost where it is. Here it is. So we've got 14,327 wallets that at least hold one Axion. Now this number here, we need to basically triple it. We need to triple this number over the next 6 months, and that's probably quite a reasonable target. We've got lots of marketing and product development, venture capital auctions, stuff like that to drive that. So that's what's going to be happening. So I'll be posting a lot of videos around those topics. So you can see those as well. I am promoting those on blogs, so pulling in a bigger community and doing my part to make that happen, because I think it's pretty pivotal. Obviously Hex has over 200,000 wallets now. Obviously not all of them have Hex in them, and they've got historical accounts in there as well, but that's where we need to head. We need to head up towards that 50,000 addresses mark. And so if you've in the community, obviously this topic today is a barrier to entry at the moment, but once again, if you manage the time, that you're trying to do your gas is here, gas by day. If you try to do the weekend at least, you might get a good time. Even like the Friday was not too bad. So you you just got to get your timing right as well for onboarding new people. So that will help, and so don't be surprised. So that's under the new folder, Axion, Axion Personal Wealth. So I just redid all the folders last night. Hopefully they'll look a lot nicer. And just as we slowly improve the communications, there's going to be a lot of new marketing and website stuff coming out for Axion very shortly. So we'll have to get that aligned as much as possible. So just having a quick look at the playlists. So yeah, I've tied up a lot of videos on this channel as well. Obviously, when we had a testnet and we had testnet and a few other things, and Hex2T, the original token. So those folders have all been tidied up. The names have been tidied up. So hopefully this channel's looking a lot better as we move forward. And obviously using a lot of nice, fun, bold video icons is helping. So yeah, let's just keep growing the community, educating new people, and pulling in related topics is basically the aim. So you might see those coming out. So yeah, it's pretty good. I hope you've enjoyed the topic today. I hope if you weren't as aware of stuff, why gas fees are so high and maybe what other people are doing with managing them, and what the team is doing, then this has helped a bit. Obviously, as we get an announcement from the team about exactly where they're at, that will let you know about that, and to have a nice live stream about that will be great. Whatever that may be, it may be in stages that they have different options playing out, as we've discussed in this video. So very exciting. Yeah, thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll probably end it there. Thanks for watching, and onwards and upwards. And yeah, special thanks to Alex K for being the moderator and also providing such stellar knowledge. Really appreciate that. And we'll catch you in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you, I'm doing an end of the day auction video, so I'll see you in that one. I've also got other videos on other topics coming out, so you'll probably see me post those from time to time. And I've got my big announcement to make as well, so hopefully you enjoy that.